Welcome to another episode of Crimson Sin with Tamsin Lee. I am your host, Tamsin Lee. Today's case brings us to Boolarra, Victoria, Australia. In 2008, 17-year-old Caroline Watson vanished while on a picnic with her 22-year-old boyfriend, Julian Buchwald, in Budgeree, Australia. The couple was celibate for legal and religious purposes. But Julian was ready to propose to Caroline for a second time. Their romantic outing in the eastern Australian countryside took a terrifying turn when Buchwald stopped to examine a roadside animal carcass. A masked assailant wearing a balaclava emerged, blindfolded Watson, forcibly stripped her, bound her, and drove them both to a secluded location in the Australian bush. Upon reaching their destination, Buchwald was also unmasked and stripped. He informed Watson that they had been abducted by a satanic cult and abandoned in the remote wilderness. They found a bag stuffed with a sleeping bag, a toothbrush, a coconut, a knife and shovel, and a jar of peanut butter. Relying on the peanut butter and tahini Buchwald brought for their picnic, the couple struggled to survive for days, enduring freezing temperatures while huddled together in the sleeping bag for 6 days. The couple dove into a freezing river in fear of the kidnappers coming back and cautiously moved around barefoot and naked for a week around the field to avoid being found. Buchwald persistently attempted to coerce Watson into having sex with him, urging her to marry him in a makeshift ceremony within the bush so that they could become intimate. He even suggested this as a way to stay warm. Caroline firmly rejected Buchwald's advances, prioritizing her survival, and was deeply disturbed by his suggestion. They later discovered another bag containing their clothing, which was cut into pieces. They managed to reach a nearby road where they were spotted by a farmer. The farmer offered them a ride to his house and subsequently assisted them in reporting the incident to the police. At the police station, Julian maintained his story of a satanic cult abduction. He even brought forth a letter adorned with satanic symbols, allegedly mailed by cult members, that was discovered at his residence. Instead of discovering the cult, authorities apprehended Julian. Why? Facing police interrogation, Buchwald's fabricated story quickly fell apart. Investigators described his initial account as amateurish in the extreme, particularly the lack of any credible motive for the alleged kidnapping. This glaring weakness ultimately led to the unraveling of his elaborate ruse. Driven by impatience, Buchwald, who desired to marry and have sex with his girlfriend before she completed high school, resorted to this desperate measure. Julian Buchwald was unsurprisingly convicted of kidnapping. However, the bizarre and disturbing nature of this case took another unexpected turn in 2011. Following his conviction, Buchwald was released on bail but failed to appear for his sentencing hearing. He was subsequently apprehended in Singapore, having fled Australia and traveled to India. To evade capture, Buchwald had assumed a completely new Indian identity, complete with a forged passport, a new name, and even dyed his hair and eyebrows black. Upon his arrest, he was sentenced in absentia to 7 years and 9 months in prison, with an additional 6 months added for his flight from justice. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, Buchwald refused to accept responsibility. He appealed his sentence, claiming a miscarriage of justice and arguing that the punishment was excessive. This audacious appeal arguably represents the most absurd aspect of this entire bizarre saga. Buchwald's appeal was unsurprisingly denied, with the court citing the significant and enduring trauma inflicted on Carolyn Watson as a key factor. However, the repercussions for Buchwald extended beyond his imprisonment. Born in Germany and raised in Australia, Buchwald had never obtained Australian citizenship. In 2014, his visa was revoked, and in 2016, he was deported to Germany, a country where he had no language skills and no support network. This drastic outcome resulted from his desperate attempt to coerce his girlfriend into a sexual relationship. What are your thoughts on today's case? Thank you for listening and your support. Stay safe, and I will see you for the next episode.